last few months, I've been getting a lot of questions from my coaching clients about their new working environments. Many have spent considerable time working from home over the last 12 to 24 months and have now started going back into their offices. Others have seen their companies adopt a hybrid or even a full-on virtual workplace. But regardless of the percentage of work from home versus work in the office, the most common question I get is, will my career stall because I'm working remotely? Now, most managers, quite frankly, don't like working from afar. They're uncomfortable with this current situation. And quite frankly, I can't blame them for being afraid or frustrated, since most managers have never had proper training on how to lead in a remote or hybrid work environment. The fact is, not being visible at work, and that's both figuratively and literally, can have a negative impact in several ways. There's the perception, and a lot of this is justified, that remote workers lose out on promotions and more challenging work assignments because they aren't in the office. Out of sight, out of mind, as the old saying goes. Then there's other effects that may not derail careers, but make life much more frustrating. One recent study found that more than half of remote workers felt like they weren't being treated equally by their in-office peers. These employees felt that their colleagues wouldn't fight for their priorities, and they would make changes to projects without consulting them, and would even badmouth them behind their back. Now, the good news is that visibility usually doesn't depend on actually being in the office. So, if you're like a number of my coaching clients worried about falling behind their colleagues who are coming into the office, here's some advice that I give them. First, build on your relationship with your direct manager. If your manager is not scheduling weekly one-on-one check-ins with you, you need to ask for them now. I'm a huge fan of one-on-ones, or O3s as I like to call them, because these are great for your visibility and growth. Your focus in the meeting should be in the first 20 to 30, should be about 20 to 30 minutes, and maybe more if you have a great boss. In the first 5 to 10 minutes, ask if there are things that you could be doing to support your manager and your colleagues if you have the time. To make that happen, you might want to consider mirroring your manager's working hours to ensure that you have enough overlap with them during the day to get their feedback. Now, for that next 10 minutes, share the successes that you've had, what you've learned, and more importantly, the challenges you face where you could use their help. You need to get their assistance to remove obstacles that are keeping you from achieving yours or their task or goals. The last 5 to 10 minutes, you should focus on yourself by focusing on your career growth and development. Most managers don't spend adequate time to create a development plan for each person. You need to make their job easy. Ask them for input from your manager about things that you can do to improve your skills, knowledge, or performance, because you want to be the sponge. And take good notes. Every job should be an opportunity to learn and grow your capabilities. Getting frequent feedback and feed forward on what you've done well and what you could do differently in the future will definitely set you apart from your peers. Next, make your voice heard from afar. So if you work full-time from home or in a hybrid office environment, leverage your time when physically away from the office. Take advantage of video conferencing to be seen and heard. Now, if you're not adept at Zoom or MS Teams, spend lots of time learning to become an expert where others may not be. It will really set you apart. Using these tech tools properly and efficiently is often something that will really make you stand out, and that's to your manager and to your peers. Also, please, I implore you, have your camera on and pay attention. Everyone sees when you're not looking at the screen and you're checking your phone and text messages. Just don't be that person. Have a nice background on your computer and dress for success. Now, I'm not saying you got to wear a suit and tie or a dress, but dress smart. Look the part. Believe me when I say people always notice. Now, if you need advice here, just Google Zoom or remote meeting etiquette and dress. There's plenty of stuff out there. Next, ask questions so that you're seen as being present during meetings. Speak when you have content that is meaningful. Don't speak just to speak. Now, I'm sure you've been on enough Zoom or Teams calls to see how some people dominate the conversation and deliver nothing of value. Everyone just wishes, quite frankly, that they'd shut up. Now, if you have an idea about how to improve a process, increase efficiency, or make a positive impact on a customer, share those ideas in writing with your manager first, and then maybe later during a team meeting. Always lead with something like this. Say, I was reviewing project A or maybe B or C, and I had some ideas on how we might be able to do some kind of action, like maybe improve, reduce, or eliminate X, Y, and Z. And now I'm looking for your thoughts on how this might work and what would make it better. Now, if you do this, this shows others that you're thinking about continuous improvement and collaborating with others to arrive at a better solution or outcome. Look for key opportunities to occasionally come into that office, maybe a little bit more frequently than you have in the past. Because when you're on site, you need to focus on interacting with your team as well as others outside of your team. Lastly, blow your own horn. Your colleagues and manager might not be aware of the work that you're doing, so bring it to their attention in a tactful and factual manner. Let others know the details about what you've been working on and the impact it's having on the company, customers, or a client. Even better, try to weave in kudos by giving credit to a colleague for an idea, advice, or assistance that they gave you on a particular project. People always like being recognized, and they will be much more willing to tout your successes too. Now, if you receive an email from a customer or colleague talking about the work that you're doing, or maybe even a goal that you've accomplished, forward it to your manager with a quick note that says, "Just thought you might like to see this great feedback. Really excited about the results we're getting." Right? Most managers are never going to see that kind of stuff unless you let them know. Don't be afraid to market yourself. Make sure that your manager understands your skill set, what you're working on, and the feedback you're receiving from clients and colleagues. So, remember, regardless of your physical presence in an office or other workspace, the steps essentially are the same for gaining visibility at work. But the truth is, those that work remotely, either partially or entirely, you have to put in more work and effort to gain visibility. Now, here's a bonus for you. A little secret that most managers won't tell you is this. Done consistently well, the three things that we just spoke about will make you not only more visible, but more promotable. So if you're not building on your relationship with your boss, making your voice heard from afar, or blowing your own horn on occasion, you should be, to your success.